Okay, gonna use kind of a not real super sharp so as not to cut the surface of the head gasket where it goes onto the aluminum block there. Yeah, this thing's just coming off. Just the dull end of this pry bar. I didn't see a putty knife, but this is good. I like the way it's just kind of dull. It's taken off this head gasket pretty good. So I go ahead and do that. All right, I got these cleaned off pretty good. I was able to finish these up with this little drill here and a wire wheel thing. So I got them pretty clean. Got a few places where I scratched it just a little bit, but that wire brush was enough to kind of blend in. I might take a little sandpaper to it, just a little bit, but that should be fine. It's definitely not rocket science. Same thing on the cylinder side here. I had a couple little nicks that I did with a putty knife or whatever I was using. I think I finished up with a cold chisel. It was easier to handle because it's shorter, had a shorter handle on it. Now I'll just kind of clean this crap out, the old gasket debris. And before I started, I shoved a shop rag down into that hole to keep all that debris from getting in there. And it's pretty easy digging it out of the cylinder and just kind of blowing it off. So I'll just dig this stuff out, clean it out, and position this head gasket and start putting that head gasket on. We're going to clean it off. All right. Let's put this back together. Getting a little creeper action here, my back saver. And we're going to do this in reverse. So I've got some of those head bolts, got this nice and cleaned up. Head gaskets in place. There's a couple little pins, like little dowel pins, except for they're for the engine, that go there. So it just helps keep that into position. And we'll get those rocker arms through there later. We'll figure that out. Hopefully we'll be able to get them back onto the rocker arms pretty easily. I don't know if that's going to be possible. We'll see how difficult that is, but it's going to be a lot easier to put this head gasket on first, and then just put the head on and then put the rods in. So it's almost impossible to do it while you're putting it on there and then getting it lined up. We might be able to try that. Nah, I don't think that's going to work, because the push rod's got to sit down in a little bitty cup down inside of there, and it's pretty impossible to do, in my opinion, if you're trying to do this all with only two hands. So let's see what we can do here. Get this back on to the throttle, wiggle that around, get it kind of in place. Okay, time to go now. Time to make that money. Where's that? As long as I get it on those pins and just kind of keep peeking at the pins to kind of see where they are. Okay, then we'll just get a couple of these bolts in place just to keep it in a position, kind of thing. Okay, so I will leave a link in the description where I found a nice little image. It's just like a digital photo of all the torques and stuff like this for this engine, for a lot of different Briggs engines, and that should be in the description. So hopefully that'll help. And what I found there was these are 220 inch-pounds for the head bolts, which equates to 18 foot-pounds of torque. And I've got a torque wrench that I will be using, and then I'll also come up here and I'm going to re-torque the flywheel bolt, because I just did it with my impact, but I want to double check and make sure it's tight enough, because the flywheel bolt holding this flywheel on is 100 foot-pounds. That's a lot. So I'm going to go back and retorque that, make sure it's good, because if that flywheel loosens up, since it is keyed, but it is also a tapered shaft, so part of what's holding that in place, a big part of what's holding that, is that taper and that friction. Basically, it's fastened together with the friction of that taper partially, and then there's the key. So I'll get the rest of those head bolts in and grab my grab the torque wrench, put these rods back in too. All right, I'm going to put all these head bolts back in, like real loose. So I like using the drill for this purpose because, you know, you can set the torque. So I set it at a pretty low torque, like a real low torque, like a number 4. Now let's go around, still kind of doing a cross pattern on this thing. And then over here. And that kind of over here. Not getting any of them really too tight at all at a low torque. So they're all in now. And then I'll be getting out my torque wrench here to get them to 18 pounds. And I'll just do, there is a sequence for this. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm just going to go crossways, you know, and put them in a logical order. It's pretty simple. I mean, there's just go across here, across here, across here, and back over here. You know, it'll be done. And I'll do it in steps. I'll go to like about 10 foot-pounds on all of them, and then come back with 18. And then that should be good. And after that, we'll get the rods in. Okay, you got trusty old torque wrench. And I'll be using a little extension on here. Using an extension changes the torque a little bit. You don't need as much. You can go a couple pounds lighter. I got a 13 on here now, and I'm hoping that that's going to be, it's not even going to be good. I can't find that. My 1/2-inch drive socket. Hang on. Okay. So I will be putting these rods back in. And before I do that, I want to get these caps put on here real quick. Don't forget these little steel caps that go on here. Okay. Now this choke, I'm going to have to take the carburetor off to get the choke link on. But let's go ahead with the intake. This one is the exhaust. The intake goes down here, the aluminum one. And then I'm going to try to get this over here and onto the, how am I going to have to do that? Okay, like this. Get it down in that hole. Feels like it's kind of in there. And now we can compress this valve just a little bit to be able to slide this over here. You can just push down on it, hopefully, just a little bit. Push on it. And I'm trying not to pinch my fingers while doing it. It's just that little bit. Get something else to do this. Okay, so as I'm putting this silly thing back together, I noticed that I got it started by hand. I always start these by hand, but when it did, it just started threading at a cockeyed angle, and it like that, you know, and it went in a few threads, and I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. Then I start tightening up, and it's cross-threading, and so I had to take this back off to see what was going on, and that's what was happening. I couldn't see that it wasn't perfectly square when I got it started, so I need to make sure it starts square and then continue. Because the block is aluminum, the bolts are steel threads, and they will just tear up that aluminum block and strip your threads real quick. So you want to make sure to get it nice and square-like when you're getting it started. Now you can't really see, but I'm using that little Allen wrench here in a minute. I just got to make sure that it starts square, and then go from there. It's that rhymes, and I wasn't even trying to do that. It's just feeling musical today, poetic. All right, get these going. Okay, I got that bottom one nice and square now, so it's going good. Getting a little worried. Those oh, it's already tight. Those are pretty coarse threads, so it happens pretty quick. Let's get it nice and tight. I'm trying not to over tighten this so I don't strip it. Oh boy, might not be able to avoid it. Jesus, this has got to be something. It's got to be something. I got to get that bottom tighter. Nice and tight. Okay, get this one on. Can't find this bolt. So 3/8 bolt. I don't know where it is. I don't know where this 3/8 bolt is. That goes to the side plate there. Okay, get this on here. And where is that bolt? It's got to be around here someplace. Oh, 4, 6. Okay, I'm just looking for one, and I got another gasket here, and it's already broke. Look at that thing. All right, new gasket is broke. Okay, and I found what I find. Yeah, that's just for the shroud cover. I got another missing bolt for the shroud cover. Where is that thing? Where are those, man? Really? Did they drop someplace? Okay, there's another one. Okay, that goes here. Down on the side, this bracket holds that on. Okay, I'm putting that in with the 3/8 real quick. Torque this up. Then we'll get this 1/2 inch going on here. Where'd my 1/2 inch go? Okay, then on this muffler, you don't really even have to get that too super tight. You got these tangs here, just fold these tangs back over onto the head of the bolt. You don't have to worry about it. It's like this. And like this. Very nice. Okay, put those rods back in. See what we got. I am going to use this same screwdriver here to push this valve in if I can. So I got the intake rod down there. Hopefully it's seated in the right position. Okay, get this over here. And then I'm going to try to just kind of like compress this a little bit without injuring myself. Should be able to do it. I don't want to pinch. I don't want to pinch today. but I gotta push it in and rotate it. Get a little towel, rag, skin saver. There we go. Just to get it back into place. And we'll get the exhaust. Do the same thing. Line up the this was the other end. Get it to where it's down in that hole. Good. In that little depression. Get it in place. Grab this. Push it in and rotate it real quick. Okay. Sticks a little bit of, okay. And now that's pretty sloppy. Might have to adjust that. All right, gonna open this all the way up. One of them, so get the exhaust all the way open. That means the intake should be ready to adjust. And with that head gasket, it's gonna be a little bit thicker, so it'll make the push rods actually seem a little longer, shorter, I don't know. But now we're gonna adjust the valve clearance. Okay, on the valves, so we got a different clearances on the valves now. Just got to make sure everything's cool. I'm getting, let's see, which one am I going to do first? The movement of all of them feel good. So now I have the exhaust all the way down. They're both the same as 4,000 to 6,000. And now the intake is way off. So what it's going to take, they're both off. You know, and after pulling the head, putting it back all together, different gasket, you clean it off. It's going to be a little different, so we're going to make sure that it's good. So I've got this, a 16 millimeter fits on that real good, and I got some Allen wrenches right here. I find one that fits in here real good and snug to just be able to tighten this up. So we have, I think it's a Torx tip that might be in there. It is a Torx tip, but I can get one, shove one of these Allens in there and get it to fit pretty good, I'm sure. So I think it's going to be this one. Yeah. And so that's going to be the thing that changes the gap. So turning it in is going to take up that slack and close the gap. Turning the center piece in, I'm pretty sure it's turning the center one in, isn't it? No, I guess that's the lock. So the center will be the lock. Yeah, the center key will be the lock. So I got it at 5 thousandths now. It's right on there, holding it in there. So I got to hold the center in place while I turn the outer to the right. So I'm gonna hold some pressure on this while I turn it. Is this the one? This is the one, right? Yeah, that's the one. For sure that fits in there. This one don't. Yeah. So kind of got to put the wrench on there first. Got to remember to do that. And then I'll turn this to the right while I hold the center in place. Oh, nope, wrong. Doing it wrong. Okay. So I might have to get my little back saver. I should not drop that. That was a gift to me by my wonderful daughter. From my daughter. I'll back this off. And I need to back this whole thing off. I got it way too tight. There we go. Loosen it up, get it down in there. So I got that 5 thousandths. Now I'm going to tighten this up just till it, there, till it's snug. Then I'll hold the outer in place. Hold it at the spot as I tighten up the center lock. So I try to hold that in place, and I still got the 5 thousandths. Perfect. We'll try it again. Let's get it on the exhaust this time. So we're going to bring that intake valve we just did all the way till it's open. So that will mean the exhaust is closed. We'll unlock the center lock bolt and then tighten the adjuster bolt. It's the one that's on the outside here, adjuster bolt. Get it in there. Okay, we got that set. Get our wrench on there to hold it in place on the outer and hold it steady. Okay, it's going to take a little couple turns to get it right. Okay, and now I'm going to tighten it, trying to hold the outer adjuster in place while turning the inner to lock it. And I got a good 5 thousandths on that one too. That was one of the easier ones I've done in a long time. It's been a while, a few months since I've done one. I have to say that that went very smooth. Let's double check this intake valve once again. And it is boom. I mean, the feel on that is exactly 5 thousandths. Okay, we'll do the intake open, check the exhaust, and that's just feels great. Feeler gauge. Okay, so that's 5,000. So there's 4 to 6. It's right in the middle at 5. Now we'll slap everything back together and fire it up. Should be good to go. Check for leaks, and that's installing the head gasket and valves.